Hi, I'm Mark Dice, and welcome back to Let's Play Baroque. Oh, God, so much crap. Alright, let's get down. Oh yeah, I'm lethargic. I thought I was lagging once again. Yeah. Alright. Well, let's slowly make our way down. I don't really need a puny coat. I think the Cursebringer Range is here. I don't remember. It's been like 10 minutes, so I've forgotten. I think he was on the last floor. Don't remember. Oh, now I have to go up. Derp. Green tunnels mean upper tunnels. Blue tunnels mean lower tunnels. I've also been playing all day, so my brain is slowly getting burnt out. Because I constantly have to remember what I'm supposed to be doing in this game. Which is taxing, to say the least. Let me guess. Nothing in here? Also, the only other... Oh, no, there's an extra pathway. Let me guess, it just connects the other one. There you are. Damn, I killed him fast. Alright. We need to do something about this. And there's really nothing I can do about it. So. Unlucky sword. Yeah, let's pick up an unlucky sword. I need more enemies. Oh well, I'll pick up that seed on the way out. I'll just eat them. If need be. Yeah, I guess I'm just eating a whole bunch of heart seeds. Alright, where is it? It's right up here? Yeah, I don't care about you. Unless you're in my way, which you are. Luckily for you, time to get purified. Go up. Power up. Yeah. You know, a lot of people get on the debates about, you know, which is better, modern or classic games. And I have to say, I am really divided on the issue. I really do like a lot of modern games, and I like a lot of, you know, older games. But I don't think one is necessarily, like, that much better than the other one. Like, classic games have their perks, they also have their extreme frustrations. Give me an unbrand right now. Right now. But I don't think I could say, like, I could spend the rest of my life just playing new games, or spend the rest of my life just playing classic games. Like, I don't know. I think there's a certain simplicity to classic games, but I think, like, the interesting, like... fucker. Maybe I'll equip the... I know I got rid of those wings. Come on. That crystal's gonna disappear if you don't hurry up and get yourself unconfused. Of course. Just enough time that I missed the crystal. At least I have a rubber coat on, so they won't be doing as much damage to me, but... I don't know, like... think there's more beauty in modern games than there are in classic games. Like, there are a few examples of like pretty games in the past, but excellent. I think there's also like a lot of uglier older games, but they're a lot more playable than even the prettiest modern games a lot of times. The one thing is that like I do have a large like area of games, like modern-ish games that are in between modern and classic, that I don't find very good. Like, I don't consider this game a classic so much as I consider it, like, I don't know, I guess an older game. Like, it hasn't reached, like, classic status yet. Oh, classic. That'd be nice. But I certainly don't lump this with like newer games. Ow. So, I don't know. I think for some people, older games are much easier because there's a lot more like resources and interest in it. And a lot of the stories were written a lot better, or a lot more clear, or even have a story at all. So, I don't know. In some ways it's what you're into, but also I think that even someone who's like a complete total snob about older games, could enjoy a few newer games if they got the right newer games. I think the problem is, especially like when it comes to countries like Australia and some in Germany, but more in countries like Australia where a lot of games don't appear in the market, or they appear too late, or way too early, or just don't appear at all. It's one of those things where they don't get like the full catalog of possible games. Like in America, we miss out on all of the Japanese exclusives, whereas Australia may get them a year ahead of time. But not all the bugs are fixed, or the story is like somewhat incomplete. But then you have other countries where they just ban certain games. Like, I know plenty of people who've never heard of like Manhunt and stuff like that because it was banned in their state, country, whatever. So I find it interesting that some people, you know, what's considered a modern game or whatever may not come out for another 6 months in another country, and in between that time another equivalent game has come out that's better. Or someone who's like plagiarized it, like an American game that, or like European game that ends up getting made by a Japanese company. Suck it. And turns out to be better, and then the other one feels bad. So, I don't know. It then creates like a kind of dichotomy of what games are considered classic and what games are considered not so classic, because some games may not ever get released because they weren't popular enough, or they didn't sell well in Japan, so they never came to America, and stuff like that. So you see this kind of, I guess, strange nature of games appearing in some countries and not appearing in other countries. So, I don't know. Like, this game might be a relative of a classic game to someone in Japan, but in America, since it came out much later, it might not be considered classic. If you get what I'm trying to say there. But So, I don't know. Beyond that, it also, like, with everybody's taste in games, there's always inevitably a game that you will love, no matter what era it came out in. I'm just gonna eat these, I don't care. Please tell me I have a pork bone. I don't. So, I don't know. And also, some people are unwilling to try a game because of a name or because of a previous game. Like, I know people that are, like, phobic of Devil May Cry just because they play Devil May Cry 2 first. Which, like, first of all, I don't know why you'd play the second game in a series first. Maybe I'd understand Devil May Cry 3 because it's supposed to be a retelling, kind of. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yeah, I'll keep the one on brand. I do kind of like the explosion. When it does go off, it does a shit ton of damage. Oh, and there we go. I got another on brand. Also, I think that since there are so many games out, that you may miss a game. Like, you know, people who missed God of War and then go back and play it. And in some light, to one person, that's old hat, but to another person, it seems like so new and interesting. And that's often like how I feel, not necessarily with modern games or for all games in general, how there's this kind of split between what someone has played and what someone has not played. Like, someone might be opposed to story RPGs because of Knights of the Old Republic or because of Dragon Age or some other game that never shuts the fuck up with its pseudo-story. And may not ever like a game that's close to that again. And that sucks because you could play something that's really good. I mean, I can't think of a decent game that's like those, but you know what I mean. It just ruins future possibilities. Like, I wasn't a fan of Mass Effect, and I wasn't a fan of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, so really, I had no loss, no gain right there. Oh, really? You're gonna throw like such a sissy? Can you please hit something? That would be fucking great. Oh, metabeing has a stomach ache. I win. You lose. I like the explosion brand. I'm keeping it. Although I'm beginning to think it does 10 damage, but this honey badger does not give a fuck. And this honey badger is waiting till I get up to 320 and then give myself some more health, because I'm really low on health for being such high level. I also really need more consciousness orbs. There should be a bunch coming up. I really hate to, like, miss out on them. Come on. Come on. Thank you. Time to die. No, no. A double-edged box. Yeah. Here's what double-edged boxes are good for. Killing things quickly. But I do admit, like, there's kind of that, like, intermediary... Oh, arrows, that's nice. There's this intermediary level of video games. Like, take for example, Elinare, whatever. Playing Might and Magic 9, and it's like the same... I'm guessing the same era, just by its look, that it came out around the same time as, like, Quake 3 Arena. Give me that shit back. I should have used that earlier. Quake 3 Arena, which was a really shitty time for video games in general. there really wasn't many good games out flooding the stores at that time. I don't really need euros. So, like, for that era, when those games become classic games, they'll be remembered as, like, really shitty games. Oh. Sweat bones. Of course. Worthless. But in that era, I mean, you had a lot of shitty games, and I think that they go in phases like that, where you can say that, you know, I think that we're a downfall of classic or current games, that there aren't really good ones coming out. There's nothing that, like, jumps out at me and makes me want to go get anything. So I guess in some lights right now it's probably better to say I like classic games more, because right now there's nothing that I have to rush out and buy. And even if I had the money to do so, I wouldn't. Like, yeah, I want to play games like Rage, even though it's short. What it is, my stamina is not staying up, my vitality is not staying up. So, I mean, those, though, I'm probably going to wait until it's like $12.99, or I finally get a fucking job. It's been too damn long. But, I mean, the ease of getting classic games is a lot better. They're a lot cheaper. A lot of them have a lot more gameplay, a lot less focused on download content or actually just making money. But in the same light, you're talking about an era before there were awesome things like MMOs and stuff like that. And, you know, MMOs aren't for everybody, but there's an MMO for anybody. So, I don't know. I don't really go out of my way to hate on older games. I usually hate on games that I don't really like or appreciate, and it doesn't really matter when they were made. I have no real hardcore Fuck, I thought I was going to get through this without getting into Lust. Double Edge and then Unbrand. Neither of which I really need. I'll just eat this. I'm gonna try it. I need to use this Glacier at some point. Alright. That meets up with that, and then there's a new room back there. I know. And I certainly don't look back at games like, oh, that was the day. That's when video games were great. I've never looked back on any era in video games like that. And I don't think I ever will. I mean, the PS2 era, yes, was like, oh yeah. But I won't be like, I wish it could be like that now. Like, I think that there were a lot of games that had a lot of problems. Hey, you know what? I really don't need a burn heart, so you can get out. Get out. Alright, so I have glass wings and a glass coat. Half is kind of nice. Actually, do I have anything I should get rid of for a half? Yeah, one of these damn unbrands. Get the fuck out of my inventory. I'll keep a half. Insta-kills are nice, especially if you have experience bones. A lot more stuff going on back here than I thought. I don't know. In many ways, I feel like it's the same thing as people who look back on, like, oh, the 1990s were the time to be alive and stuff. Which, like, yeah, in some lights, I guess that's true. But in other lights, it wasn't that great. There were still miserable people. There we go. So you can always keep a spare protector. Oh, Dr. Angelicus.
Thank you. The voices of pain from the littles no longer echo throughout. It's thanks to you. No, you should hold on to this.
Alright, let's do this now.
Thank you. The voices of pain from the littles no
I think she also refills the angelic
no
rifle.
longer echo throughout.
Right, when I get it back, it should be full. Nope. Cultivating fluid.
Thank you. Thank you. But I am fine the way I am.
Okay. Be a jerk. Alright, what should we send back now? Let's send the star back. Sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright. Maybe we need to show the littles? No, Eliza didn't say anything. I swear there's something else we could do with the littles. Other than rape them. Oh, wait, what? Smoked what? Oh, come on! There's a door all the way on the opposite side. Game, you're busting my balls here. You know what? You're gonna have a face full of unbrands. Almost through a third. I don't know. I think there's always frustrations in any era of gaming. It's like movies. Like, so many people look back and say, like, the 1950s are where they can make movies. It's like, no. I'm sorry, but there was a lot of shitty movies that came out then. And I think when you look back with, you know, rose-tinted glasses, you're not really looking back the way you should. Or like the actual tale is ruby sunglasses. Rose-colored glasses, aka ruby glasses. But I don't know. I think idealism is kind of silly. I don't think it really actually gets you anywhere. I mean, it is kind of being hopeful. I mean, there are some games that I wish they could resurrect, or that, you know, somebody would remake in modern times and make it good. Like, most of the time, I think the problem is that a lot of games get remade, but it misses the original, like, heart and soul of the game. Or they have a team that builds, like, an amazing game so much that they want a second one, but that team has already moved on to another project. And this project, you know, is either, like, somebody else created it and they have to make it for whatever studio company they are working for, or they end up in a situation where they, you know, that wasn't the game they wanted to make. They did put minimal effort into it, but it turned out to be awesome. But then, like, today they have these kind of, like, spiritual successors kind of thing, like Xenosaga. They like live off of what something should have been in the first place, and it doesn't work out. Like the new XCOM, I think that's going to be a horrific piece of shit. Like, there are people excited for it, but there's also people who get excited for getting punched in the dick. So, I don't know. I certainly won't try it out for, you know, $70 or whatever, $60. I just think that's insane. Like, I'll pay for sequels or games that I already know are good, or I've already played a demo of, or whatever. but I usually don't like buying games unless I played it first or it looks really good. Like, reviews said it was good from reputable review places, not from like oneup.com. It's like, new Super Mario Brothers, completely new and original. Play it, same exact thing. You know? So, I know. I usually listen to game reviews from gamers. Oh, get away from me. Fuck you, level up. That's the other good part about this sword is that I can hit things from outside of a normal range. Mystery fluid, you say? I love mystery fluids. Angelic rifle, go away. I'll get another one of you later. And I can use my appraisal parasite. I'm kind of happy with that. Oh! Is this what I think it is? I don't know if this is permanent. Because I'm pretty sure I put that on myself. Right? Yeah, I have the exploding brand and the defense. Hopefully it's not just a one-time use. Okay, good. Lost code. That's stupid. Lost. The other thing too is that there will be a point. As much as people try to save it, there will be a point when, you know, there will be no backups of classic games. Like, I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of PC games that have probably disappeared almost forever. And someday we may lose those games in their entirety, just because no one was there to archive them, or they were too old to be archived, or there was no interest drawn. But I think there's an importance, as a historical fact, to keep classic games alive as long as possible. I think that when people can look back at something, they might get a fresh idea. Like, I think playing too much current games can really screw you up, especially if you're going out there. Like, there are too many people that go into video games and have no idea, you know, how to make a classic game or a mini game or like a sprite and piff game, and then they miss out on an opportunity to build something, or they come up with an idea that's already been thought of and never worked out right, and they'll never work it out properly. So they just create a subpar game with an idea that people don't like already. Like Modern Warfare games. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of seeing them. I'm sick of hearing about them. But a lot of people think that that's what I wanted then is what everyone wants now, kind of thing. You know, like, oh, well, Call of Duty's important. You know, a lot of people buy Call of Duty. Let's just rip them off. Without thinking, like, oh, well, you could have made a game that's better by, you know, focusing on a classic or an older game, but instead you focus on a single modern game and just end up with, you know, Call of Warfare or some shit. Which I think just becomes a fruitless exercise in stupidity. I think that too many people see, like, what's popular today, which are mostly pretty crappy games, that they miss out on games that could be really good for them. And especially when you're working in video games, you really do want a solid background of other games that are out there. Like, I know some people are interested in technical aspects and get obsessed with, you know, flow rates of data, something like, Jesus Christ, that's a long hallway. And stuff like that that might be interesting to them, but it's always good to kind of have like a balanced diet of what games you know how to play or that you enjoy playing. Because you might be have played only like Medal of Honor, but then you might find out that you actually really like Advanced Wars, or you know, you really like some other game. And I think it's silly to like sit in the wealth of like so many games and only play a few. And I also feel like when people look at classic games, a lot of times they get lost in what they are because there's so many titles, and people say like, you should play this game. I don't need an exposure coat. Thank you. I'm gonna eat these seeds because actually I'll wait. Because it's like this kind of silly. Let's just get rid of these. Suck it. Like, I've been surprised by a lot of games while playing them. Like, you know, surprised that, you know, certain games are really good and others are just absolutely dreadful. Like, I would have never played, like, I had an interest in playing pretty much every game ever made, even though that'll probably never happen. Playing Unlimited Saga. I played it, and it was the worst piece of shit I've ever played in my life. And I'm pretty sure I've said that before, but trust me, it was the biggest piece of shit I've ever played in my life. Alright. I don't know if I want a me brand. Maybe I'll send a me brand back in case I need it. Actually, yeah, let's take some hope wins back. I also think there's really something vital to being able to appreciate all games for the sake of gaming. Because, I mean, there were a lot of games where it was meant as a grind fest, which aren't the most fun to play. But I still think it's interesting to focus on what made those games so good, what made that game appealing, what made that game still better than another game that's, you know, 10 years newer. And why did this certain thing work this way? I always find it fascinating. Like, why did, you know, like, Call of Juarez not do as well as Red Dead Revolver? Like, was it because of the way they are made? Was it the story? Was it the name? Like, who knows? Somebody might make another game that has a similar name and say Juarez is a name that people don't really like. So therefore Red Dead Revolver did better. Maybe it was the developer. And maybe you think like, well, if I'm going to make a game like another game, then I should probably avoid, you know, this trapping or this name. Or I shouldn't make this game until our development house is a little better known. Stop sucking. Yeah, I don't really need identifying bones anymore. Maybe I'll send one back. I don't need this anymore. Oh, I peed myself. I'm still gonna be a little bit short. Yeah, I'm gonna be 1 short. No. 11 short, right? I don't know. I'm too brain dead to be doing math. Don't ask me these hard, complicated questions. I know you're not asking me, but don't attempt to. that's weird, my vitality didn't really go up. I really need a twisted coat or something of the like. Should probably chill out with the experience wings. Poison. I'll use that right now. Oh, good. Not the greatest thing. Oh, I could have gotten rid of cultivating fluid. Let's throw these at an enemy. Like throwing change at poor people. Oh, even better. Thank you. Oh yeah. Feel the sex. Also, it's always unfortunate that, going back to something I was saying before, is with LPers doing all of the same games. I mean, I'm glad I've done a lot of TurboGrafx games, and I intend to do many, many more. That I don't understand why people would keep doing the same games over and over again. Like, do we really need to see how to beat Super Mario World? Like, there's such a plethora of wonderful games to play. It's also even more strange when you do an LP and someone likes the game but has never played it. And there's always this kind of like, well, now you've gotten somebody interested in it. Which is another reason why I think it's ridiculous that people try to like put all these copyrights on games like very posthumously about, you know, oh, you can't do an LP of this because we still own the rights to this. Well, you know, this might inspire someone to go out and buy your game. Maybe if you put out new copies, maybe somebody else would like to buy it. Or if you put it on Steam, where someone can buy it, then maybe you do yourself a favor, and my LP would be a nice little pat on the back. Like, I bought Baroque. I support Atlas. I don't know exactly where the disc is lying around here. I mean, I know where the manual is, but where the case and disc are. I have too many DVDs. Well, anyway, but this might get somebody to go out and pick up a copy. You know, some people are crazy compulsive and only buy new games for a very good reason, especially if it's from GameStop. Like, I only buy new games from GameStop. Fuck their use policy. So, you know, and that being said, why would that be such a bad thing? You know, maybe they'll see me play this and then buy it new for the Wii, just because the Wii might have different features in it or different things in it. You know, I guess sometimes people don't think of that. I mean, I know Atlas isn't anal retentive about that kind of stuff, or NIS for that matter. So it's good that, you know, I could go on their Twitter and probably ask them, and they'd be like, yeah, go ahead. And even though I might spoil to the end of the game, some people may only see like 5 minutes of it and be like, oh my god, this looks like the most orgasmic game ever. Games! But it's especially with like independent games. Like, if I created a video game and put it on the internet and somebody bought it and then did an LP of it, in fact, I would probably ask someone to do an LP of it. Even if it was just like a trial version or a beta version, you know, just to get their opinion of it and be like, well, let me see the LP first. Not saying that I'd want it to be like, you know, it must be done this way. Or like you said something bad, you can't release it now. I would think it would be a lot more interesting because you can get so many more people out there for massive media or through media like that, let's make another one. I win! You lose. Ow. And also, I mean, the way modern people, like, at least people in the modern age now, or the current age, I should say, it seems like people more and more want game companies that seem like the kind of people you'd actually want to hang out with, and not be douchebags.
I can see your idea Sephira covered in blood. The idea Sephira is the core of a person. A gift? I don't need it. I don't want it. This isn't what I want.
Well, I don't know what you want, so stop asking. Well, I don't know. I think people would like to see game companies not be assholes about things. Like, a lot of people I know won't buy EA products just because EA was being a little bitch. Let's be frank, EA was being a little bitch about games and licensing and music and all this. Fuck off. And I think that a lot of people feel that way, and they don't want to be DRM locked, only play online, must have CD and drive. Like, I know a lot of people that don't even have CD drives on their computers anymore. They only, like, my netbook only has USB drives. And yeah, it kind of sucks to either need the internet or need access to another computer to transfer some things, but at the same time, that kind of media is going to be very important. And I think that those kind of developments are even more important. Also, not to mention, it makes it easier to protect your game if you do it as digital. And then people can feel free to, you know, download it, put it on a cloud, do whatever you need to do in order to maintain that game. So that way, you don't have to pay for discs and all that kind of shit. I just think that forward-thinking, interesting companies will go farther, especially in video games or any sort of entertainment medium. Like, I don't even understand why anybody even makes CDs anymore. Like, I think it's just a waste of paper and a waste of silicon. And all the other materials that go into it. Just because I think data media is the way it's all going. I mean, I still think hard media will still be available, and it's important to back up your data like on something other than those means. Because an EMP can destroy your hard drive, but it can't destroy a CD. So like, a lot of people love Valve, despite their lack of game releases, and they kind of piss people off in releasing something for a certain price and then dropping it really quick. Like, I think it's good in a way because the people who want to pay and support for games pay for it, and then the people who either don't have the money or are, you know, would normally pirate. Once your game's made, your profit margin that you want to be like, we made 60% over what we expected to make, therefore now all copies of our game are free, would be a better long-term attitude. And if you wanted continued payment for your game, sometimes it's better to have, you know, a few people, in quote, rip off your trademark and your copyrights in order for more people to see that game and get that exposure. Like, technically it's not wrong to post a game trailer, but it's wrong to post an LP in a sense, even though it's kind of a gray area. If a company's anal retentive and is like, no, you absolutely cannot do that, then yeah, technically it becomes wrong. I mean, technically I think LPs, in my honest opinion, are... I probably should have started this floor. are user-created content that fits in the parameter of inside a video game. So, yes, I am playing someone's video game, but my actions and content are mostly my own. Yes, the music was made by somebody else. Yes, the graphics were drawn by somebody else. You know, whatever helps you sleep at night. But in reality, like, this content wouldn't exist if it wasn't for me. So, getting huffy and puffy about it is just making you look like an ass. Like, I'm not the one that has to sell this to people, so if you want to sell games to people, don't be an asshat. So, I don't know, like, I really debated for a moment not buying Skyrim if they were, like, really hardcore bonering Notch about his stupid Scrolls game. But because they tipped him off, gave him like a tip of the hat for tip of the hat to Minecraft, that at least redeems themselves. Even if it's just the developers and the parent company not a fan, at least someone went out of their way to tip them off. You know, to be like, yep, like we respect the work you're doing, kind of thing. And I think that those kind of Easter eggs and stuff make me more apt to getting the game. Fuck, come on. Give me some heart fruits or burnt seeds or something. Let's move. I don't know, and I always think that companies, you know, before they go under and their rights for certain games dissolve, they should sell them to other people. Like, I think it's good if somebody else created it. Like, I kind of wish Capcom would sell Devil May Cry rights to Sega and allow the guy who originally made the series, pretty much created all the things about it, continue to make his child, you know? I think that intellectual rights and stuff like that, in many ways, should supersede company patents. Stop doing that. Those are probably sweat bones. Still short. Oh. This is what I think it is. Or whatever. Either way, I took the clue. Oh, music box. Excellent. One of the more, again, a very obtuse item, which I really should just take with me. Recovers all hit points vitality when hit points is 1/3 or less, otherwise drains hit point vitality. So basically, if your hit points are really low and you take this, it recovers everything, otherwise it takes it away. It's a very strange name for such a box, but whatever. Yeah, and as you can see, these all have this little star icon in front of them. That means they can't be deteriorated. So they're basically all protected from anything bad. You know what? I am going to throw out this unbrand, because I don't need it. I'd rather have a half. And you know what? I'm going to stop the episode right here, and we'll continue in the next episode of Let's Play Baroque with me, Mark Dice. See you later.